Hey guys, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic, and I just saw Top Gun Maverick. Finally, I've been waiting years for this movie to come out, and I've finally seen it, and I'm gonna give you my honest, no BS, non-spoiler movie review right now. But could you guys do me a favor and hit that like button down there? Thank you so much, it really helps out a big deal. So, we have Top Gun Maverick from director Joseph Kosinski, and you know him from such films as Tron Legacy and Oblivion. So yes, he has worked with Tom Cruise before. And it stars the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, Jon Hamm, Miles Teller, and Val Kilmer is back as well. And the story is that the US Navy has recruited Pete Mitchell, aka Maverick, to come back to Top Gun flight school to teach the new group of recruits for this impossible mission, so to speak. And one of those students, Rooster, played by Miles Teller, happens to be Goose's son. If you don't know who Goose is, then I highly suggest you watch the first Top Gun. But even if you haven't, this movie will catch you up to speed with what happened in the first movie. But regarding this movie, Top Gun Maverick, is it worth the watch? In my eyes, absolutely. Yes. Hands down, best movie of the year so far. Yes, we got many months to go, and maybe there might be a film out there that could top this one. But as of right now, best movie of the year. Believe the hype. And I'll be honest, I don't necessarily like when people use that phrase because I've heard it so many times, but it fits this movie, guys. The hype has been just out of this world, and I was afraid because I'm like, everyone's telling me, Brandon, it's unreal, you gotta see it. And I'm like, how can these expectations be met? They were met. Not only that, Top Gun Maverick is one of the best sequels I've ever seen. It's up there with Terminator 2, Spider-Man 2, Empire Strikes Back, Toy Story 2, any other great sequel you can throw out there, Aliens. Top Gun Maverick is in that echelon of films, and in my own personal view, yes, this movie is leaps and bounds better than the original. And I would say that there are three reasons for that. Number one, this is a perfect balance between old and new. You have Top Gun Maverick, a sequel to Top Gun 36 years after the original. And this original movie, Top Gun, is super iconic. This is the movie that made Tom Cruise the man he is today. He is now this A-list star based on the success of Top Gun. So naturally, what's Hollywood gonna do? They're gonna make a nostalgia-fueled nightmare, right? Wrong. There are some moments in this movie where you're like, oh, I remember that because I saw the first Top Gun. However, I feel like many times when they do a sequel many years after the original or a soft reboot, the film is just filled with moments that makes the audience go, oh, I remember that. I saw the original. I know what that is. And the movie doesn't really give you anything more than that. That's the reason why I thought Rogue One was so disappointing, because there are things like stormtroopers and X-Wings. Those things had to be in there because it's Star Wars. And there are some elements in here as well. The film basically starts off exactly the same. You hear Highway to the Danger Zone. You have some characters playing Great Balls of Fire on the piano. There's a scene where they play sports on the sand, right? Like, there are moments in here where I'm like, okay, I know why they're doing this because I've seen the first Top Gun. This is a callback to the original. However, they're not just in there because they have to be in there or to get the audience to cheer. All of these moments further the story along, this brand new story, which is honestly a breath of fresh air. All of these moments are in service to the characters' motivations and the story at hand here. They're not just in there to get the audience to clap and cheer. Same with the action sequences, and I will talk about those in a minute. They are absolutely astonishing. They are mesmerizing. They are really the selling point of this movie. And this is where I got a little bit concerned before the movie started, because I've seen countless movies where the action is the selling point of the movie. And with that being said, the story normally comes as an afterthought. You gotta focus on those amazing shots that'll be in the trailer, those action scenes that we can turn into video games and we can put into various TV spots. And of course, you gotta sell toys, so you gotta put as many things on screen that can be turned into t-shirts and lunchboxes and posters and action figures, where it feels like the corporate commercial aspect of the movie is running the story, and the story just comes later. And it's very easy for films to fall into that trap, and I was afraid that Top Gun Maverick might fall into that trap as well. But I gotta give credit to Tom Cruise here, because he is a producer on many of his projects, and he has a lot of creative control. And in every interview I've ever seen him in, he goes, the story. Character, story. And that's what happens in this movie. The action sequences are these larger than life experiences. Like, you gotta see this film on the big screen to really experience those real action sequences. These are real F-18s. There's no hokey CGI here. It's all done for real. But even those are in service to the characters' motivations and the story and the emotional heart of the movie. I'm not a religious man, but praise the Lord. Thank you. I really love how Maverick's guilt of losing Goose in the first movie has really affected him and is the driving force for the story. It has affected the way he flies. It has affected the way he teaches. And it has affected his relationship with Rooster. Of course, he wants to protect him so that he does not have to go through the pain that he went through with Goose, but he also wants to protect Rooster because he feels like he has to be that father figure that he never had, and he still feels that guilt, that shame of losing his best friend, his co-pilot, and widowing someone, and having a kid grow up without a father. And all of that is just so well executed. This is real human emotion. This is real human stuff. It's not just a bunch of planes in the sky doing all these fantastical things. The story and the characters really came first, and that's really apparent in this movie. And again, I just cannot stress enough that action sequences, even though they could be the most amazing things you've ever seen, if they're in service to a really dull story, then they really fall flat. However, since that these action scenes are amazing, and we have a great story to boot, the action scenes are even more elevated. And a big chunk of the movie is Maverick learning to move on and let go and forgive and allow other people to move on with their lives as well. And I was getting emotional, quite emotional in this movie, and Tom Cruise's acting is great in this movie. Of course, he does not have the most dynamic range as other actors, but in this performance, he is very subtle, and you do see a couple tears drop down his eyes when he's talking about just not knowing how to let go of the pain. It's subtle, but it's really powerful stuff. And I also love the new team of pilots. Phoenix, Bob, Rooster, Hangman. You'll meet these characters soon, and you'll fall in love with them, I promise. And of course, those action sequences. They're real. They're real. The human eye can detect fakeness really easily. At least if you've been watching movies for a long time, you start to realize, yeah, that doesn't look real, that doesn't look real. It just kind of glazes over you and there's no emotion anymore. Top Gun Maverick is such a breath of fresh air in that regard. You have to see these scenes on the big screen. They are mesmerizing, they are fantastic, they are brilliant, they are larger than life, and you just gotta see them. But they service the story as well, so you are emotionally invested in them as well. Honestly, I've not been this emotionally engaged in action sequences in a long time. A really long time. It feels like a long time. Now, I only have one complaint or problem with this movie. No movie is perfect, including Top Gun Maverick, and that is Jennifer Connelly's character, Penny. Now, why is she in here? Honestly, between you and me, why is she in this movie? Can you guys let me know? It's not because she was in The Rocketeer, some other aviation movie back in the day. No, that's not it. It's because, this is a shallow answer, but it's true, Kelly McGillis, the love interest in the last movie, let's just say she did not age very well. So, this being a Hollywood picture, you need a love interest, but you need a love interest that is as attractive or on the same level as your lead, aka Tom Cruise. It's a shallow industry. I've done casting before for movies. It sucks to say, but that's probably the case. So you have some throwaway dialogue about how he has met her in the past and they've had some relationship within the last 36 years, and she does not really have a character. Her purpose in the movie is for Maverick to really just talk about his feelings. And that's about it. So unfortunately, every single time that I saw Jennifer Connelly on screen, I was thinking about the producers of this movie not wanting to get Kelly McGillis back because she did not age the same way as Tom Cruise did. Might be shallow, but I noticed it. But other than that, Top Gun Maverick is exciting, it's action-packed, it's emotional, it's funny too, and it's not like full of gags kind of funny. It's just situational humor by the characters talking with one another. It's just a really great blockbuster. Everything you'd want in a Hollywood big screen popcorn blockbuster is in this movie. So, with that being said, yes, I'm giving Top Gun Maverick a 5 out of 5. I was looking forward to this movie for many years, and I'm happy that it met expectations. But honestly, even with people telling me, Brandon, you gotta see it, it's gonna be amazing, this movie exceeded those expectations, honestly, and I'm very happy to say that. So those are my thoughts on Top Gun Maverick. What are yours? Leave them down in the comment section down below. And if it's your first time here and you want to see more videos just like this, then definitely hit like and subscribe. It means the world to me. I appreciate all of you guys and all of your support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.